friends, how are you? I wanted to make a quick video before this gets away from me because I think it's so enlightening and really untangles things, if you will. Today is Tuesday. Late last night, we had an op-ed come out by Senator Sinema about blah, 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 blah. Basically, she's saying something about the filibuster, blah, 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 blah. And it reminded me of when Don Julio was like, the cure can't be worse than the cause. That's all it was. And when I saw the title of her op-ed, that circular reasoning, I was like, she did not write that. That's not from her. And it isn't. And and this is how I know. I'm going to talk about her and why the GOP is done. And Biden's going to get something done. 3 things. I hope I can get this done in less than 10 minutes. Okay? So, this was our quarter moon back on June 17th. In the past, I have talked about when he was in office, how he would be scheming behind the scenes with Putin. That I knew that when the moon got into this area of lands far away, just before things would tip over into the skies above DC, he would have about 2.5 days here where he'd be like, yeah, do this, and then the news would come out of what he would do, and then it would create all this outrage and people would be pissed off. Well, guess what? Last night, Senator Sinema came out with that op-ed, and the moon was in the 9th house. It was 27 degrees Scorpio. And there's 2 ways I know that this is absolutely Donald's doing. Number 1, the moon is active over here. So the moon had been hanging out here for a full day or so over the weekend. So Donald's brain immediately goes to, what am I going to do for people to help me overseas? Or consulting with the Koch and Heritage Action. What are we going to do? Because the Koch and the Heritage are the ones that talk to people overseas. That's number 1. I knew this was not her doing. The second reason I knew is because when I looked at this chart again, I was like, oh yeah, on the ascendant, the thing giving life to this chart in Washington, D.C., where Mr. Nosy cannot mind his own business, the ascendant was 24 degrees Aquarius. And instantly I knew Donald can't handle this. Donald is going to be suddenly in everyone's business and trying to make things happen. And the reason why I know this is because the very top of his chart is 24 degrees Taurus. It's exactly 90 degrees square. He hates this stuff, especially if he can't get things moving. So I knew he was going to be up to something, whatever Donalds do. And so then what happens? Last night we get this op-ed on a Monday night from Kristen Sinema. That comes out. Boom. What else did we get out? Well, Donald, with his little press releases about the 100,000 votes, blah, 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 screaming about elections again. And now we've got this other confusing talk, the talking points that Heritage Action puts out on a Tuesday to make things metally and crazy. Oh, and all the headlines about how criticizing Biden for not meeting his July 4th goal. Whatever. That's all artificial. That's why I wanted to show you this, okay? Because the other example I have of when Donald is like making plans overseas with consulting people and then blowing things up to create drama and bring us to the edge and then pull us back. That happened on June 20th, I believe, 2019. This was the lunation for the 17th of June, 2019. This is when he had a planned military exercise. There was a plan in place for us to bomb Iran, essentially. And that was on a Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all this energy is building up. He's going to bomb Iran. Well, where was the moon then? Over here in the 9th house. Yes, they have plans. They have dispatched firefighters or the military, whatever, they are going to bomb Iran. They're ready to go. And he was supposed to do that at a certain point, but tick, 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 tick. All of a sudden, the moon is right up against this midheaven in the 9th house. He pulls back. He doesn't bomb Iran. I guess someone talked some sense into him finally, but he brought us right up to the edge, right up to the midheaven. People were outraged as it led up there, and then pew, nothing happened. This is such a dramatic point because he likes to be crowning the skies of everyone and in everyone's business. So that was that. The reason why I couldn't use 2 whiteboards is because this one had my notes all over it that I've been wanting to share with you. I know this looks like gibberish, but basically, this is just looking to the recent past. 12 reasons why the GOP is done. Done, done, done. This is the GOP chart from 1854. I'm just going to rattle off a couple of these to you so you can see, and you're going to see what assholios they are. We all know that, but just, to reinforce that. This is for entertainment purposes only. At the new moon eclipse in Gemini, the 11-degree mark stood out to me. I don't have that chart in front of me, but the 11-degree mark Leo, it was over in this part of the chart. That, what was there, that's where Pluto was on the 9/11 chart. At the new moon eclipse, we had at 11 degrees Atropos and Olga. Atropos is the third fate, the cord cutter of life. We're done. Olga is the asteroid for the queen. We believe she was in Russia. Thank you, everybody. Whose husband was murdered suddenly. And the way she sought retribution was making inroads with her enemies. And whatever she did, she destroyed them. So there's a lot of things are done here. In the Republican chart, the thing that gives life to their chart and who they are is 11 degrees Leo. So we've got the stuff that's come up with 9/11. Remember the war powers, that thing passed that day. Atropos and Olga, we're done with you. And this point isn't square to the Republicans' natal Uranus, sudden shocking news, which crowns them in Taurus. They are in their Uranus return, happens every 84 years or so. We've got that. Oh, I didn't even add that. This here, that new moon eclipse was at Gemini 19, which is right over here. In the Republican chart, what's at 19 degrees and in square? If you look here, 19 degrees Virgo, it's the asteroid Ceres. Ceres is the asteroid that represents how we nurture ourselves, how we feed ourselves. It represents the harvest and our farms, and how we feed one another. This was an exact square to that eclipse. And so that means there's a lot of tension here. It's retrograde, reflecting on how this is really happening within the party. A lot of reflection here. The thing is, listen to this, and this is in the 2nd house. So this asteroid has to do with their values, their income, and their substance. Who they are, how they feed themselves, and what they value and make their money from. Repeat, what they make their money from. 19 degrees Virgo in the U.S. chart is USA dark moon Lilith, our deepest pain. It leads white supremacy. It represents to me slavery and all the people that we have abused, abandoned, and left for dead and caused a lot of pain. This is in the area of lawmakers. That is how the Republican Party makes their money, off of pain. We've all known that, but now we see it in the chart. Sorry, that's messed up. okay? That's how else we know we're done. They're done. We also know that in the GOP chart, we've got 0 degrees Taurus, 0 degrees Scorpio on the top and the bottom of the chart. This is in square to the giant monster eclipse back January 21st, 2019 that I said that was the beginning of the end. We're getting to the end here, you guys. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I did want to tell you, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that I always refer to as the reset for our world for this time, for the next 1,000-something years, for world power and structure of governments. This was the reset back in January 12th, 2020. For the Republican Party. Now, that conjunction was here at 22 degrees, 47 minutes Capricorn, in the skies above Washington, D.C. This would be a very dramatic, permanent change in our structure and power within our government. That's the promise. That's what's happening. Well, in the Republican chart, when you look at that 22 degrees, 47 minutes Capricorn, look at all the stuff it hits. When we are looking at this area, this has to do with public servants and our military and our intelligence and our day-to-day stuff and our health care. Hello, the ACA passed. The Supreme Court upheld it. Ding. That's because at 22 degrees, 58 minutes, for the Republican Party is their natal Jupiter. Their Jupiter in the area of public servants, which has to do with expansive control, got dinged last January. It got crushed. This is not happening anymore. Furthermore, at 20 degrees, 31 minutes, we have their asteroid Chiron, their pain that they have to heal. That is conjunct I call it the Soleimani new moon eclipse back on Christmas in 2020. The pain of, this is how they do their service, their work with other countries, how they use intelligence. Yeah, they messed that up too. Ding. And furthermore, with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, we've got Pallas Athena, I call her Wonder Woman, is at 24 degrees Capricorn 26. This is the CANOPENER eclipse. You know what the CANOPENER eclipse does. When the sun got to this point, Donald was impeached the second time. And recently, I've been saying Pallas Athena punched a hole through the fog of Neptune that the GOP and Donald have been disguising their nefarious misdeeds against the people. That has all come down. So we have Juneteenth, 1865 and 2021 represented here, and other things. And this is just the stuff in the past. I haven't even told you going forward why they are done, okay? But I want to show that to you and reinforce that to you, that things are progressing along, even though the media and the talking points want to make it seem otherwise. But here's the last thing. Okay, Joe Biden, where did you go? President Biden. This is his natal chart. So we are still in this lunation from the quarter moon. As I was talking about earlier, we have some activity that's been going on over here. Senator Sinema and her op-ed, blah, 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 blah. Right now, the moon is 4 degrees Sagittarius. It's still here. The top of the chart in Washington, D.C. is 9 degrees, 49 minutes, Sagittarius. So in about 10 hours or so, 8 to 10 hours, there's going to be a noticeable shift of momentum of what's going on, because we still can't totally see what's going on. We have a sense that there's things going on with our lawmakers and trying to pass some things, yada, yada, yada. Well, when this moon goes over the midheaven, we're still in the new moon Gemini eclipse lunation. This is going to be very significant, whatever happens, because number one, Also, we have, okay, so we have 9 degrees, 49 minutes at the top of the chart. Asteroid Potomac, the United States defenses, where she holds the line, is at 9 degrees Sagittarius, 58 minutes. Something is going to happen about the way DC, our nation, is defended. I also heard a thing today that President Biden heard that Capitol firefighters only make $13 an hour, and he was furious. He banged his hand on the table. Well, and then we have a solar eclipse point right there, right next to it. So a lot of things are happening here. The astrology was look to the messages that are happening down here. What messages are missing on the world stage? The Ten of Cups reverse. The Ten of Cups has been my card for the Republican Party. Reversed, things are not going so well for the Republicans. President Biden, his natal chart. Looky here. His ascendant is 3 degrees Sagittarius. At 9 degrees 40 minutes is his asteroid CERES, CERES. Does that look familiar? This is how he is nourished and sustained. This is really important to who he is, his vitality, and his optimism. His optimism sustains and nourishes him. The law sustains and nourishes him. Our relationships with lands far away sustains and nourishes him. The big picture sustains and nourishes him. That is who he is. And with this lunation, while we're in an eclipse lunation, the moon is getting ready to go over the top of the chart. He is fed by this midheaven. Whatever is happening in 8 to 10 hours really is going to affect an important part of his chart. And as the leader of our nation, Potomac is right there. It is incredibly urgent on his behalf to defend our nation. Okay? So, we'll see what happens there. These were the things I wanted to show to you, and I got under 20 minutes. So, there's that. We'll talk to you soon. Okay? Bye, you guys.